don't know. They have also some type of fishes that are too ripe, and they serve them. I don't know. I am not expert on cuisine. The artistic in order was mentioned, which is funny because sometimes the Swedish people are, because the artistic in order is very often connected with the Dutch, and as some sort of the counterpoint for the German order. The Dutch are more artistic, more individualistic, and the German people are more ordnungsmodeern and so on. Where about the Swedes, I never heard it. I didn't hear it so often, but many people say that there is absolutely artistic or even normal disorder in Swedish homes. I don't know. I didn't see very many Swedish private homes, so I have no idea. But in the same time, they are exceptionally tidy when it comes to furniture and making those furniture and making those arrangements with furniture. Well, I don't know. But this was mentioned, so I mentioned it also. I don't know. The Swedish, the Systembolaget was mentioned. It is the system in which they are making alcohol very, very costly, and in which is causing two things. The end of very huge alcoholism, which was before in Sweden, and for instance in the first half of the 20th century it was still a huge problem. And it causes also the flow, the influx of many Swedish tourists to buy cheap alcohol in Poland also. Not only in Poland and in some other countries. So this is the effect. But the radical solutions when it comes to problems with alcohol are very frequent. For instance, there's no prohibition anymore in the States, in the United States, but they still are very harsh with people who are drinking publicly those alcohol drinks and so on. So you have to put to wrap it in some material to not be recognizable as alcohol anymore in the States. So the radical approach to alcohol is not really something. It's typical for all northern nations, which are there's a problem with climate, with coldness, and with lack of light, and with resulting depression, and the alcohol is sometimes the answer. It's the answer for many Swedes and the answer for many Canadians and Russians. They are very often described as lefties. There are sometimes huge exaggerations of this leftism, but sometimes there is some grain of truth in it. For instance, it's hard to imagine a different, because they have this system in which 50% of all people in the parliament and in the government must be women. So there are many women and in the high authorities. And those women have, for instance, visited, wearing the Muslim scarves, they have visited the Iranian dictatorship government, and they have professed sympathy for Muslims wearing those scarves, although they were claiming to be feminists in the same time. It's very radical, very, very strange, and this strangeness is something that really attracts our attention sometimes. I think that the Swedes are so much similar to each other. There's no country of diversity, not counting the Muslim and other migrants from recent decades, but this is mostly a nation of similar people. So they trust each other, so they can, because of that, they can agree with one another more, and this can lead to social states, because when they understand each other, because they are similar to each other, then they can agree for more social welfare system, for more of that than the Americans. If the Johansson spends money for not working, not employed, Peterson is more easily to swallow, I guess, than for Mr. Johnson to sponsor some Martinez in the States. I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but there is sometimes presented as an explanation of why Sweden is so much socialist and America is not. I don't know, but we're talking about this